Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and after yesterday's Arena Cube draft and how much fun at least I had with the draft, I figured we'd actually go in and do another, because this thing is absolutely awesome. So again, as I mentioned yesterday, singleton draft environment, curated card list, so pretty much all the cards in the format are very powerful things that are very fun to use in some or most cases. And we need to get at least 5 wins in order for the event to be effectively paid for. If you haven't yet cube drafted before and you're curious about the format and you want to try it out yourself, Wizards are providing a free first draft with this one, so you just click the start button that's usually around here. But yesterday we used ours, so obviously won't appear for me. But yeah, we're going to go with the 4,000 gold and going to see what goes on, to be honest. So yeah, yesterday went really well. We went, well, I'm not going to actually spoil what happened, but we did pretty well. Ooh, ready already. Look at that. That's how popular this thing is. I think we could have done a little bit better by committing to our game plan a little bit earlier on, because I think it was only towards the actual deck building portion of the draft that I decided that I'd go all in on the archetype that I ended up using. So there were a few cards that I passed which were good for the strategy that I was going for, but I didn't necessarily realize at the time that I was actually going to build that specific deck. So we'll see how this one goes. Again, I don't draft too often, but maybe I'll draft a lot more now that Cube's around. I do find Cube like maybe 10 times better than draft personally, because I feel like you can just, I don't know, feels like janky heaven, to be honest. You can kind of get away with building whatever you want. We're going to go into this view right here. Okay, so I like, personally, when it comes to Cube, to start off by picking a mono-colored card that I absolutely love the look of. So I'm torn between Vivian Monsters Advocate and Dread Presence, first and foremost. I don't think going into dual colors right away is necessarily a good idea. Mono red is very popular, so I don't really want to fight people for mono red cards, even though Steamkin is probably a pretty good mono green card. So we have the Vivian here, and there's a Llanowar Elves. The rest of this pack doesn't look great for mono black, so I think I'm going to go with the Vivian and just hope that Llanowar Elves comes back, though I highly doubt that it actually will, so we'll see. Alright. Our opponent over here. I say our opponent. We don't actually play against any of the people we're drafting against, which is good. Oh my god. Nyx Bloom Ancient. Endriz Foreigners. Migration. Again, I like picking the cards that are very fun, and Nyx Bloom Ancient, I mean, I can never say no to this card. I feel like it's always just amazing. But, I mean, in this particular draft environment, I don't know about that. Do love me some Khan's Temporal Sundering as well. It's not necessarily the best card, but if we went like Simic, it's a good color combination. We want our Growth Spirals and things like that. We could go Simic Ramp. We've got Exclusion Mage as an early game play as well. That might come back. Come on. Please. Please, brain, stop making me pick jank. I know it kind of works out for me in the end, but yeah, it's these 3 cards here. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with Khan's Temporal Sundering for the laughs. For the lulz, chat. There's Carney T. Castle Vantress is very good. I think we take Carney T. Vantress coming back would be nice. It's not exactly mana fixing, so it could come back. I doubt it, but who knows. There's also Dryad of the Elysian Grove as well, which is kind of a nice card. But I do love me a Carney T. I don't play this one enough. Probably should be taking lower to the curve stuff, and Hydroid Krasis looks like the immediate pick here. There is a Spark Double, do like Spark Double, and Prime Speaker Vannifar. So it looks like Simic is pretty good, and someone's definitely getting a mono red deck. Torbran with Storm's Wrath. Absolutely happening. I'm going with Hydroid Krasis. So we want to find some ramp cards for sure. Dream Eater, Arch of Araska's not too bad. Chainweb Arachnia. It does have some early game and late game synergy. We are going to go with loads of big things, so I'm not sure how ascending the Arch of Araska is going to go for us. I'm going to take the Chainweb Arachnia and get that early game Stuck a little bit, and there's Growth Spiral. It's absolutely the best possible pick there. No questions asked. We've got Spectral Sailor and Nessian Horned Beetle. I think I might go for the Sailor for the card draw. 2 mana 2/2 that can just grow. Doesn't really sparkle with me. So I'm going to keep that one. And then it looks like it's just Lonely Sandbar. We don't have the Triome, really, that allows us to splash into an extra colour. So let's just take the Lonely Sandbar. I usually put my lands in the sideboard because I'm weird. Green, white, black. Can't really do it with that. And we did get Gem Razor back, so that's not too bad. Endray's Foreigners and Exclusion Mage came back. I think I'm going to go with the Exclusion Mage to fill out that curve a little bit more. Wave Break, Hippocamp. I'm not sure on that one. I'm also not sure on Portal of Sanctuary, though it does have, like, Exclusion Mage capabilities. It's probably going to be sideboard tech, but we'll kind of try to keep it in mind. Spark Double, absolutely. Recon Mission. I don't really see myself playing it, but it's on colour. It could be cycled away if we don't need it. Prey Upon, good removal. And a dud. Alright, pack 2. Midnight Clock. Mending of Dominaria. Elvish Reclaimer. We do have a little bit of ramp in the Firemind Vessel. But I think Midnight Clock's just the better one. It's early game. It allows us to get to an early Vivian. We could probably just end up building a Flood of Tears deck at this rate. We're not going to do that, I don't think. It's between Once Upon a Time and the Voracious Great Shark. I think Once Upon a Time is the pick. We don't have any on-color mana fixing here. I would love a Breeding Pool or a Temple of Mystery at some point. There's a good chance that our opponents have just kind of picked them already, though. I think I'm taking Once Upon a Time. It's just good fixing in the early game. Land or creature. Nylea. Looks good. There's also Colossal Majesty. I don't think we're splashing a third colour, though we could technically get away with it. But if I went with, like, Thief of Sanity, which would be the splash card that we'd go for here, it'd make me feel bad about all the lands I didn't take. I think we're just going to go with Nylea. We're very creature heavy, so that's going to be something quite useful. We've got Removal, Pelt Collector, Gilded Lotus. Gilded Lotus doesn't necessarily ramp us into anything, though. I think I might go with Pelt Collector. It's early game, it's nice, it gets big. It's not the biggest. Kenrith's transformation, though, is just pretty good. It's got to be the removal. I think we're going to struggle to find removal, so I don't think passing it up is a really good idea. And this is a really tough pack now. We've got the Incubation Druid for ramp, but we've also got the mana fixing as well. This is a really good pack for us, actually. I think we'd be happy with most of the stuff that came back. Leaning on the Hinterland Harbour, because there's a lot of people trying 5-color, and I imagine they're just going to snatch all the lands they could possibly get here. So this is probably the least likely to come back, and Incubation Druid probably gives us a chance. I'll be happy with Blink of an Eye and Storm Tamer coming back, though. They're not necessarily ideal. I think I'm taking the land, though. Questing Beast, I think, is without question the best card in this pack. Speaks for itself, really. It's a broken mess. Oh my god, these are good cards. Alright, green looks really open. Now then, we've got additional land drops, which I don't hate. Somebody did take the Dryad of the Elysian Grove, so they probably want this Swordtooth. I do like Biogenic Ooze, though. And I love Vivian. It's got to be Vivian, I think.
Close your eyes.
Let's take Vivian.
Listen to the sounds of the wild.
Tendershoe, Kinnan. Kinnan could be good, but we don't really have a big, huge pile of mana rocks or mana dorks. So it's really kind of a risk taking it, whereas Tendershoot Dryad is just a solid card. This getting you Saprolings that become 3/3s is really good. I'm gonna go with Kinnan, though it is a risk. I guess we'll take the Firemind's Vessel for Kinnan. Unlikely to splash red at this stage, so I guess I'll just go with a Flood of Tears. We'll put that in the sideboard. Colossal Majesty came back. I might run that. Terramander. It's just not happening, is it? Nobody wants Field of the Dead. That is fascinating. I don't want Field of the Dead either. I will never be able to make it work. I think that's sideboard tech Terramander. And yeah, we got Commence the Endgame, Storm Tamer. I might go with the Storm Tamer to protect my big boys. Cryptic Caves, I'll run that. And a dead card. Alright, on to pack 3. Search for Cantor, my immortal son. He is always here. Always waiting. I think we take the Fable Passage. We've got a lot of triple greens and double blues. Our sideboard does contain Lonely Sandbar, Hinterland Harbour, and Cryptic Caves. I would be happy with one more piece of card filtering, like Fable Passage. I could see myself getting most of these cards, though. Like Night Pack Ambush is okay, but we're very proactive rather than reactive, so this doesn't really work for us. We're not running counter spells or anything like that. So we've got virtually no incentive to play on our opponent's turn. I think I'm taking the Fable Passage. It's just not going to come back. Alright, let's have a look. Stormfleet Aerialists. I think we're taking Omen of the Hunt. Though I do like Destiny Spinner as well. I think we're going with the ramp package, though. Yeah, let's take Omen of the Hunt. I want some more mana rocks, to be honest. Jade Light Ranger looks good. Talrand, we probably can't make that work. Awakening of the V2 Ghazi. Doesn't have Trample, though, does it? I think that would sell me on it, but because it doesn't, I'm just going to take the early game Jade Light Ranger. Now, Beast Whisperer looks solid. Oh, and we got the Ketra Triome as well. That we can use as basically a Simic Guildgate. I feel like it's got to be Beast Whisperer, though. We're very creature-focused. And we're definitely going to run it. Yeah, let's take it. Lovestruck Beast. Oh, and the Temple as well. And the Rejuvenator. Oh, man. This pack's got so many good stuff. So many good things. Alright. I'm going to assume that Lovestruck Beast comes back. It's probably a really good turn 1, turn 3 play, but I don't know. Do we need fixing at this point? I don't know if we need fixing, so I don't know if I'm going to go with the Temple of Mystery. I might just go with the Rejuvenator and hope that either Temple comes back or Lovestruck Beast comes back. Wolfwillow Haven. McKinnon's not looking too great as well. We've got to keep that in mind. Creatures you control have Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, Haste, and Protection from Black and Red. We can actually ramp to that quite nicely. Why didn't this card give you a ++? It just needs to have more, chat. We all know it needs more. It's between these two. I think I'll go with the Wolfwillow Haven. Voracious Hydra is solid. So is Warbriar's Blessing, but Voracious Hydra doesn't require me to have a good creature in play. It can be one itself. There's also a sword there that's probably not coming back, but it is very useful for our deck. Do we take Fauna Shaman here? I could see that. I could see that for sure. Benthic Biomancer as a draw and discard is a nice early game play, but Fauna Shaman's just fine. I'm sorry, my immortal son. You're not made for this deck. Once again, I have disappointed you. We don't have any graveyard synergy, so Relentless Pursuit's not ideal. I think I'll go with the Krosan Tusker. Whenever one or more tokens enters the battlefield under your control, it is a thing that we do, but not a good thing that we do. So that's sideboard tech. Let me close this sideboard. Don't know why it appears down there, but it's gone now. It's gone now. It can't hurt us. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna run this. It's a nice combat trick, I suppose, though. 5 mana, 9/9. And it's legendary as well, which does actually allow us to use our Khan's Temporal Sundering. The Ketratriome came back? Wow. Okay. And the Temple came back. Good lord. Alright, so we got good mana. Reach counter and a sudden spinneret. So I don't think we're taking that. And yeah, we could have actually splashed a little bit of red, it seems. A lot of the Gruul cards seem to have come back. Alright, so a lot easier to cut than our last deck, for sure. We only have 6 cards that need removing. Let's get our lands in here. I don't know why I put them in the sideboard. It's just force of habit, I guess. We've got a really nice mana base for this. We can technically splash for red with a Gruul Spellbreaker because of the Fabled Passage and the Ketratriome. But I don't think it's worth it. A random 3-drop that just kind of hastes. Just not for me. Alright, so the worrying cards were going to be Kinnan. What else were we a little afraid of not being great? I don't think there was too much else. We're kind of just like Simic Ramp. Yeah, I mean, everything else somewhat fits. I guess Khan's Temporal Sundering is a concern as well, as a card that might end up getting cut. Alright, so as far as keeping Kinnan is concerned, it's only good when you've got mana rocks, so the Midnight Clock and the Firemind's Vessel. Of course, you can actually just activate for 7, which is really good, and it's a legendary for the Khan's Temporal Sundering. I'm just thinking that if I cut Kinnan, then I don't know if I've got the legends to justify this. Nylea is a legendary creature, but it's not a creature, while it's not got its devotion, so... this is effectively a 3-drop. I don't even know if we need the Krosan Tusker, to be honest. Because it puts it into your hand. It doesn't exactly, like, Rampant Growth you or anything like that. So I'm not too into that idea. I just don't know on the Kinnan front whether or not it's a good idea. It does allow us to just pay 7 and get non-humans, which is the entirety of our deck, right? And we've got an extra human that's not Kinnan. Who's our other human? Exclusion Mage? Yeah, Exclusion Mage. Okay. Everyone else is like an elf. So I'm going to cut Krosan Tusker. I'm not too hot on this card, to be honest. I don't know about it. It'd be so easy just to cut this bit and then be pretty happy with ourselves. And in fact, like, the blue ends up just being a really light splash for a mostly mono-green devotion-y style deck. I think we still want the ramp package, though. Not necessarily the Firemind's Vessel, though. So we have a lot of stuff here. Creatures with power 4 or greater. We can make that work quite easily, I think. Although a good chunk of them end up being like 3 power in general. But if we can get like Carney T out, then Colossal Majesty just does us so much good. We can maybe hit it off the Kinnan. So this is like non-land as well, for the record. So this doesn't add extra, I don't believe. Whenever an enchanted land is tapped, its controller adds an extra green. I'm not sure on the wording of that, but I'm pretty sure Kinnan doesn't get triggered off of it. I think it's the land that adds the mana, and therefore Kinnan doesn't trigger it. We do have a lot of land ramp again, which is why I'm not sold on Kinnan. We could go without Kinnan and without Firemind's Vessel and just go land ramp instead. The creature count 16. That's such a tough one. And the human synergy as well doesn't really work with our mutate, for what it's worth. I think I'm going to go with that. I'm not sold on it, but... Alright, so legendaries. We have Vivian, Questing Beasts, Nylea, not legendary. Is that enough to justify Khan's Temporal Sundering? It is a smaller deck than 60. If this was a 60-card deck, I'd absolutely say no. In a 40-card deck, I still kind of want to say no. We have already played with this card as well, so I think I'm going to cut it. It just makes the whole deck building process a little bit easier, so I'm just going to make it easier on myself and cut that card, even though it probably we could get away with it. I just think leading off with, like, Spark doubles on the Vivians is going to be good enough as it is. We actually, as well, for the record, we can -5 the Vivian Artbow Ranger to go get the Kinnan. We might even consider doing that with some other cards. I don't know. We're not exactly increasing the odds of finding these pieces. Were any of the other cards we added actually worthwhile adding? Flood of Tears, I don't think so. Again, you want Mana Rocks for that. Recon Mission, probably not. We've got the Colossal Majesty, Vivian's minus, and most of our creatures in general are just too big for that to really work. You are a creature you control. See, I don't know about the Storm Tamer necessarily, but it is nice as an early game play, which I think is something we're lacking. We do have, like, lots of ramp, though, in fairness. So, like, early game plays are not so much of a concern. Do I just cut a land? I always love cutting a land. I'm not gonna lie. I do love cutting a land. I never seem to find it an issue. So we can go down to 41. And then, what's the last cut? God, these are all good cards. What about Fauna Shaman? Is there much value in tutoring? We can tutor for Spark Double. We can tutor for Enchantment and Artifact Removal. We can tutor for Card Draw. That's probably good. We can dump. I think I might just cut the Siren Storm Tamer. Like, I want the blue to be a lighter splash, in all honesty. Although we do have the ability to splash it a lot harder. I think it might just be Siren Storm Tamer. We'll just live with our things getting blown up on occasion. I mean, once we got Carney T down and we're ticking it up with Vivian, producing loads and loads of beasts, feel like we're in a good spot. Although you do allow me to cast creature spells. That does have some inherent value in keeping a high creature count. Is it just a 41 card special? I think it might be a 41 card special, chat. I just love it too much. Yeah, let's do a 41 card special. I'm tired. Let's go for another game. Alright, if you do enjoy this deck and you want to see more of it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get on with it, shall we? This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, we're in, and I love this hand. It's got a really, really nice curve, so let's do this, shall we? Lead off with a forest and pass the turn. What is our opponent playing? Plains into Dauntless Bodyguard. Really nice early game start for them, for sure. We got our land, which allows us to play Jade Light Ranger on 3. We're just going to drop down our Fauna Shaman. It maybe deters them from attacking with the Bodyguard, though if they actually think about the value that their Bodyguard has over my Shaman, they'll realise it's not worthwhile. Okay, well, I'm just going to go flying over the top. I might have just saved that, to be honest. Personally. And yeah, we're just going to go with the Jade Light Ranger here. See if we can get it up to a 4-3 with the Explore triggers. Otherwise, we might even find a land for the Vivian. Oh, library. Alright, get in for 2. This is just solid. Alright, I don't even know what we do next turn, because we've got so many good options. This is just an absolute god tier hand. Could very well change soon enough, I imagine, but... Hanged Executioner, okay. I'm gonna I think I'm going to not block. Eventually we'll start making 3/3s with the Monsters Advocate. And I might even just go with a Questing Beast here as well. Yeah, let's do Questing Beast. Opponent can't block it, and I think we're just going to go for the all attack and get that pressure on. If they want to double block with the Hanged Executioner, that's totally fine. If they want to pay all their mana next turn just to kill Questing Beast, again, that is totally fine. So they're at 9 and we're putting that pressure on. I don't think they can afford to just lose their entire turn for simply killing a Questing Beast. It's something that we can absolutely punish. I think that's what they're doing, though. Questing Beast just brings out the worst in people. Alright, so they lose a 1/1 to kill my 4/4. I've got Vivian Artbow Ranger to give trample and run right through our opponent, and they can't double block for any kind of profit. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do here. So Vivian, play our land, tick up, and swing with the tramplers.
Stomping time.
Stomping time? Oh yeah. No good blocks. And they don't have a good attack on Vivian Artbow Ranger either. So they are going to actually go for a double block there, and we're going to trample a point through. That is a losing move. You love to see it. Alright, 5 mana. What can they do? I guess there's board wipes that they could play to buy themselves a turn. I might, in general, just be able to get lethal through here, because I can mutate with the Gem Razor to make a baseline 4/4. So we've got a 6/6 going through, and then it's an 8/8 with Vivian's Tick Up. And I think that might end up being what we do here. They could have, like, Seal Away, I suppose. It's definitely a concern. But we do get to kill the Ancestral Blade anyway, though, so I feel like we're getting at least some value from doing this. So let's mutate Gem Razor over, so we get that power and toughness buff. Kill the Ancestral Blade. And I mean, right now we're essentially dealing lethal. I think I'm just gonna have them fight. If they do have the Seal Away, at least the Gem Razor can kill a creature, and we still have enough loyalty on Vivian Artbow Ranger there to survive the creature that we leave behind. So I think that's probably better. We also obviously give 1 less point on that trample, and yeah, pretty good. Alright, that's a solid first showing for the deck. Very happy. Alright, we are in, and on the draw with what appears to be a little bit of a slow hand, though Once Upon a Time can help us out a little bit there. We've got a tap land to play on turn 1 anyway, so I think I'm still going to keep this. Any small creature for Colossal Majesty can be pumped a little bit with the Artbow Ranger. Your opponent now, if they know Magic the Gathering, know that I have Once Upon a Time in my hand. That's annoying. We're going to go with Temple of Mystery. We're in no rush to actually cast Once Upon a Time just yet. Ooh. Could meme out very hard with that card. So we're going to. Adanto Vanguard. Alright. So we are going to play a Forest. I think we're just going to go Once Upon a Time. Probably should have done that first. But maybe we find a big creature. Voracious Hydra. Carney T. This is a tough one. I think we take Voracious Hydra for the removal. And we just flash in a Spectral Sailor on end step. Maybe our opponent paying 4 life is not something they want to do. I don't know. Probably not. They'd probably pay it. Alright. Take that damage. Ministrant. And passing. So we'll flash in a Spectral Sailor here. We're really slow, unfortunately. Siren Storm Tamer. That one I would be happy to throw into the Adanta Vanguard just for the sake of it. So I think we'll go with the Midnight Clock. Play a Storm Tamer. And I'm just going to get in with the Spectral Sailor. I don't think I'm blocking with that one. This is going to be a weird one. Because I think we can certainly find ourselves in a situation where, oh dear, where we get overwhelmed very quickly. They just whiffed. Time to be alive. I'm definitely not blocking the Ministrant of Obligation now because it makes non-humans. 2, 3 maybe with the Voracious Hydra. We're not going to be big enough to fight. Ugh. And they're going to pay the 4 on there. What a weird situation to be in. Yeah, we'll just take it, I guess. I'm going to double the power of Voracious Hydra, so I just want to hope for a land here. Okay. So, X3. Double the power and toughness of that one. So we got ourselves a 6-7. I think we're getting with the Spectral Sailor again. So we stop Winota from attacking in. And to a certain extent we stop the Adanta Vanguard, because they're going to have to pay 4 life for that Winota trigger. And after that, Vivian can come down, have the Hydra fight Winota. Never mind. Yeah, we're losing this one. There's no chance we're winning. Benelish Marshall pumps the squad. I'm just going to move on to the next game. That was a bit of a whiff, unfortunately. Alrighty then. We're in. And I think this hand is fine. We've got turn 2 play with the Fauna Shaman. I would like a 3 play, but who knows? I mean, turn 3 could be just prey upon, eat a Mana Dork or something like that. Mana looks pretty good. If we can get to the Questing Beast, that's nice. And the Hydroid Crisis to refuel down the line is also pretty good. Any ramp that we find just makes this card so much better. So yeah, essentially quite happy with this one. Viejo Nuevo, is that 69? I hope so. Nice. Nice. They'd be cool if it was. They'd be cool if they played Magic the Gathering as well. Because all the cool kids play Magic the Gathering, as we all know. You wouldn't be here if you weren't cool. Alright, we're mulling. Opponent's cool meter just rose up dramatically as they accepted the challenge of the Gathering. Do they want to keep this 6-card hand? They do. Alright. Forest, go. Let's see what you got. Temple of Mystery. I like that land. It's a good land. Solid. Its foundations are well placed. Ooh, okay. Got our own. I think we're just going to go with Fauna Shaman, though. Next turn we can Temple plus Prey upon, I suppose. I think we want to get at least some pressure on at the bare minimum with the Fauna Shaman. So this is a fight, which means power will be dealt back to us, but that is totally fine because we get to easy trade right there. 0-2. I think definitely killing a Mana Dork is worthwhile, for sure. And Elvish Rejuvenator, I think, is going in the trash. AKA back in my deck. And we've got Questing Beast next turn. So we've really slowed our opponent down, hopefully. And we've got Questing Beast coming down, which should be pretty hard for them to deal with, unless they're running counter magic. Which appears they may be. So if they're going to do that, I think I'm just going to swing in with my Fauna Shaman. See if we can bait out a flash creature of some sort. And instead of losing potential Questing Beast value, I'm just going to flash in a Gnomon of the Hunt on their turn. Yeah, they got a Gnomon of their own. Alright, I am going to still flash it in on their turn, because it makes me look like I've got counter magic, which is the reason why I haven't played my Questing Beast. Ooh, it's Sultai. And if they want to counter it, it means they're going to tap down on their own turn, which means I get to resolve my Questing Beast. Field of Ruin, my Temple of Mystery. You got your own. Well, I've got an Elkify. So I'm fine with that. In fact, if I draw a land next turn, I can turn yours into a 3/3. Oh, and Questing Beast myself. Questing Beast, yours is a 3/3 now. I draw a card. Carney T, you love to see it. Get him for 4. So if they've got enchantment removal, it's pretty good. I think I end up, because I've got this Carnage Tyrant, I end up trading the Questing Beast. Can't really do much with this card while there's a Death Toucher on the opposite side. Ooh, Labyrinth. Removing attacking a creature or blocking creature from combat. Does cost them like 5 mana effectively. Ugh, big downfall. Boo hiss. And Gem Razor. I don't think that works. I believe that does not work. Nope. Does not work. So Kenrith's transformation says that creatures lose all abilities, and the ability they were trying to trigger is when it mutates, you get to destroy an enchantment or artifact. So effectively what they've done there is applied a vanilla creature onto a vanilla creature, which you'd just love to see. Alright, Carney T, get down there. We got a good blocker, we got a good attacker. We're looking for Vivian Artbow Ranger or Monster's Advocate at this point. Opponent cannot use the Labyrinth to stop Carnage Tyrant as well, which is absolutely solid. Props to our opponent for learning that lesson, though. I have actually myself mutated onto a creature that can't have abilities, so I feel for them there for sure. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's... Oh, no. What am I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually am going to wait on a Hydrocrisis then. Thought I had an X6. I'm not going to waste 1 extra trigger or 1 extra card draw by playing that now. I just don't think I have to. So let's Once Upon a Time either find a land or a decent creature. I mean, if it's not a decent creature, it's going to be a land. I'd love, I guess, Spark Double. I think that's maybe the absolute god tier creature here to hit. We got the Angerius Armored Killer or the Spark Double. Whoa, is that a Spark Double I see? Sparky D on Carney T. Oh, yes. And then get in. Opponent doesn't have the blocking power for a Carney T's toughness to trade off there, and they've had enough. Beautiful, beautiful. Love me some Sparky D. Yeah, alright, well, next game. Okay, we're in. On the draw. Have we been on a draw every time? I think we've been on a draw all but one time. I'm not quite sure. I think this hand's fine, though, with the Wolfwiller Haven. Not having a blue for the Midnight Clock kind of sucks, but we've got some removal, so I'm pretty happy with this one. We'll see what we can do. Opponent mulls to 6 and leads with a Fabled Passage. Alright, multicolored deck. Running primarily swamps. Okay. Hydrocrisis, not too bad. Again, we need that blue source. It's a Rakdos deck, a slow Rakdos deck, and Gem Razor is quite good. Alright, so for now, all we really can do is go for a Wolfwiller Haven here. We have no blue mana, so we're a little bit restricted on what we can do here. But a lot of our cards are going to be pretty decent ones. Timuret Calls the Dead. It's a Mothra. Or a Luminous Brood Moth. And yeah, this is a weird one. We're not actually doing anything, so yeah, just pass the turn. I definitely don't think upgrading our opponent's 2/2 into a 3/3 is a good idea. And Scorch Spitter. Okay. So this thing sacks a creature for 6 mana. I hate that we have to pay for that, but here we are. There's Questy B. Questing Beast is pretty solid, but blue mana does come a calling. I feel like I've just got to get my Gem Razor down as it is. It's such a weird spot to be in. These are not good hits. If I went with Hinterland Harbour, I've got the Midnight Clock and the Hydroid Crisis later down the line. I guess that does undo some of the life loss. And then we can use the Prey Upon and the Gem Razor to do some stuff. I think I'm not in love with this play. So I think we're just taking a lot of damage that I would really rather we didn't. But in theory, we should be able to stabilize with our big mana. Could actually even go X1 Hydroid Crisis and Gem Razor it up and kill the Bloodfast. It gives it that power and toughness boost, but we just don't get the life gain and the card draw from it. Ember Cleave, oh my goodness. Yeah, we definitely need to do some gem raising. We're at 8. Ugh. Vivian. Let's see. We get to do blue, green. We get to do an X2 Hydroid Crisis. And then we get to Gem Razor it. Hopefully our opponent just doesn't have removal. Sparky D. Please do not have shock or other removal in response. Good stuff. It's now 4/4. 6/6 with the counters, and we get rid of Ember Cleave. Alright. Yeah, whatever, opponent. I don't care. Act of treason, yeah, sure, well done. Well done. Good game. Yeah, amazing. Okay, we got a turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 play. I'm perfectly happy with that, so we're gonna keep it. Yeah, this deck's struggling with its early game. I think maybe I'm taking too many hands that profit off of surviving, and we're just not surviving. Every single loss we've had has been up against aggro decks, and every single win has been against the slow deck, so, you know, who'd have thought? Alright, I'm actually going to go with the Wolf Willow Haven here, because it allows me to go with Vivian Artbow Ranger next turn, and start ticking that up on a Chainweb Arachnia, which I think we can make absolutely huge. Should our opponent not have Seal Away, or anything of that sort. Yeah, I think we absolutely do start committing to that.
Everything from deer to dinosaurs.
So 3 points coming in.
This will be fun to watch.
Opponent does not have Seal Away. So now we have a pretty good reaching creature, should we want to actually hold back our defenses, which I definitely don't think is what we actually want to be doing. Do they have a Banishing Light? I'm assuming that's in this cube. Seems like a weird one not to include. We actually have a double creature play as well next turn. So our opponent doing their thing isn't going to matter too much. Pacifism, sure. Yeah, I think we're going with Jade Light Ranger first. See if we reveal some lands first. Ooh, Midnight Clock. We haven't actually killed our opponent quick enough for that to actually tick over yet. And if I leave this on top, I get those 2+1/+1 counters, which makes a big boy. Sure, let's keep it. Not in love with it, but we're gonna keep it. And I don't need double blue. We've got rid of our double blue requirements by getting rid of the temporal sundering. So I think we're just gonna tick up on our Jade Light Ranger. Play Forest and Fauna Shaman. Hope our opponent doesn't have Shatter the Sky. If they do, we do get to draw a card, but it would suck. Can pull Kinnan from Vivian's ult. Baffling End. Alright, so we have committed to a card that got destroyed. That is fine. Gives us a Gem Razor target, for what it's worth. I don't think I actually have enchantment or artifact removal in my sideboard. 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually wonder if... I actually think we do go for Kinnan. Because Kinnan with the Midnight Clock is a combo. And if we can do some activations, that's pretty good. Yeah, nothing else just seems to stick out here.
Arcbow, bring me an ally.
Alright. So then we go... Has to be Midnight Clock first. Into Kinnan. And we will play the Sandbar. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's exactly what we need for Kinnan's activation. So we get to start picking out really lovely creatures here. If they don't answer it. We've got some must-answer threats, though, so I'm pretty happy with that. Reclamation Sage on Midnight Clock? Sure. Annihilia. I will take that. We take those on this channel. Alright, I'm gonna go on the Fauna Shaman. I don't want Kinnan to be as big of a target. I guess we could do both. Yeah, sure. Let's do both.
I'd get out of the way if I
I see myself occasionally tapping Fauna Shaman, which is why I don't want to go all in on it. And I don't want to put all my counters on Kinnan instead. Because I want that to be not as strong of a target as something else, maybe, that's currently in play. Okay, well, boop and boop. Play Once Upon a Time. Get Spark Double, Vivian. Vivian. Put some counters there, some counters there. Everything else trample. And swing.
How you've grown.
My. So our opponent can block 1 point of this damage unless they have maybe Settle the Wreckage, which would be grim. I'm not gonna lie, it would be very grim. But it appears that they don't have it, so I'm pretty happy with that. I guess we could have not attacked with so much, but if they had like Night Pack Ambusher, we're not playing around that card instead of Settle the Wreckage, so I think there's a few cards that we could be playing around, but some cards have the reasoning for those cards being played around actually just kind of contradicts playing around another one. So, yeah, seems good. Let's go for another game. I think we're... Oh, actually, what are we now? We've lost twice. I think we're like 3-2, I want to say. Yeah, 3-2. Okay, so we need to get to 5 in order to go even, but, I mean, at the moment, we've paid 2,000 gold for this draft, and I'm pretty happy with that. But we could always do better, so let's do better. Alright, we're in, and we got a nice early game hand, so turn 3, probably? Jade Light Ranger could get you 2 lands, but Rejuvenator can actually ramp you and is a body on board. So Rejuvenator is better than Omen of the Hunt. I guess it's just dependent on what our opponent does as to whether or not Jade Light Ranger is better than Rejuvenator. But we'll see. I've never had this card whiff, so there is that. Never in my life have I looked at the top 5 cards in my library with this card and not got a land. Just doesn't happen. Just does not happen. Alright, Temple into Annihilia. I think we'll take Nylea, actually. We seem to have the devotion to make her work. And Chainweb Arachnia is something that can't get through Fauna Shaman, which is nice enough. I guess, because Fauna Shaman is a card that we might be playing, we want to keep the Rejuvenator in hand to discard, or the Jade Light Ranger, so we might play Omen of the Hunt instead, since we can't discard this to Fauna Shaman. And that allows us to find our, like, Gem Razors, Spark Doubles, cool cards like that. Again, though, it's going to be all dependent on what our opponent does here. Like, if we get... What's some counters? They could have... Is Quench in this format? I feel like it probably is. Essence Scatter sure as hell is. Alright, well, now we don't have to worry about that line of play. Skittering Surveyor, solid. Alright, so, yeah, it's this situation now that makes Jade Light Ranger better. Because it's more likely to be able to block our opponent's board. And we will lead off with the Forest. And we'll see if we can explore some counters onto this Jade Light Ranger. Yes, I will slap that on top of my library as a removal spell for your Surveyor. It's not the greatest removal spell in the world, but it is a removal spell nonetheless that stops Thassa from being good. So they get to thin all the lands out of their deck. Thassa is indestructible, so we can't use the Gem Razor to kill her. Unfortunately, as much as I would like that to be a reality, it straight up is not. Alright, slap you on top. Over the top. And have Trample, kill the Surveyor. We've got a 6/6 coming through. And I think we're now in the driver's seat. Quite happily. Guess it's all dependent on what our opponent can combo with a Thassa, though. If they can get, like, an Exclusion Mage, then that's a big problem. Cloud Conceer, drawing extra cards, is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. It's stuff that stops us from using our 6/6 Trample that I really have an issue with. We've seen the Essence Scatter from our opponent, so, like, I guess Quench is really the only thing that we're playing around as far as countering creatures is concerned. I know Spell Pierce is in here, I've seen it. Let's see. Can't really do multiple things in a turn, so let's swing and see what happens first. Maybe we'll get Brazen Borrowed. No, take our opponent to 8. So this is Devotion 2. We only have Vivian Artbow Ranger, I think, to actually enable Nylea next turn, guaranteed. Though I suppose we've got Rejuvenator and Omen of the Hunt next turn. So we're going to go with this. It can get Spell Pierced. Actually, no, it can't because it's a creature on the stack. Never mind. It can get Disdainful Stroke, though. That's what that can do. I was hoping to enable Nylea for a big swing next turn. By gaining some devotion. That's an oof. That's probably a game-losing oof. In Bolus's Clutches, and they've taken my card that actually deals with In Bolus's Clutches. So, yeah, I don't see how we win now. Spark Double. It's not going to do anything. It's Rejuvenator. I mean, what can we really do at this point? Get a big Hydroid Crisis? We can do it for 3, for 5. It's still not big enough. 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just going to take it because I don't think blocking gets me anywhere. And yeah, that's all she wrote. Carnage Tyrant, wow. Okay. Just outclassed at every step. Catch a Triome. Flicker Cloud Conceer, draw a million cards, and looks like we're drawing a land. Well, bit of a disappointing one, not gonna lie. Let's Spark Double just to see what we would have drawn. First card we would have drawn was Vivian Monster's Advocate, which is not good enough. And then let's have a look what we would have seen in the top 5. Because we're dead. Yeah, some really good cards. And loads of lands. Alright, fine. Womp womp. Yeah. 3 and 3. Not great. But I can't really complain. I think we only paid 2,000 gold for this cube, which is for a casual format that's not really designed for good stuff to happen. For making profit in. You shouldn't really be playing this to make money. So, you know, with that mindset, pretty happy. Got a Waker of the Wilds. Didn't even remember this was a card, so that didn't really count. Yeah, bit of a weird one. I really liked our deck, though. It just didn't really sparkle in the end. It just seemed to whiff. I think I took, on some of those losses, I definitely took a few card hands that were too slow, and I should have mulled them in hindsight. But yeah, it just didn't really pop off in the way I wanted it to, which is unfortunate, but it's the way it's got to be sometimes. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you want to see more Cube, let me know down in the comments section below, because I've done 2 at this point, and I know you guys like to see some Brawl, like to see some Historic, and occasionally some Standard, so I do like to spice things up in the channel a bit. So this is probably going to be the last Cube for now, but I know it's around for a little while as well, and I'd definitely be interested in returning to it. Just need to know if you guys are interested in watching it, is the thing. So let me know down in the comment section below. Support the video as well and the format with a like, with a subscription, with a good old hitting of that bell icon, with a good old comment down below. You know the drill. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, guys.